More victim visas for minor league coaches. And yeah, baby, told you to show me where the growth is. You already tested the road for and hammer where it grows. So you know it's 30 million. So I spent another 30. For something like hammer 30 million can't fuck with my soul. That only
it's kind of like playing dominoes.
Do you have like a target in your mind, or how are you kind of viewing this time?
This is new, and from all that I'm learning about how quickly you can get back, there has to be a healing process is just the way the body works. You can't accelerate it more than what it's telling you, so it'll be one of those after a week, like really reevaluating every day to kind of understand when it's safe just to even think about playing, let alone like how much can you push it.
You've never had any type of hamstring issues in your life?
Nah, it's the first one.
Even like tightness or anything?
Nah.
So Steph, I mean, you're going to be you clearly around the team. You're here.
And what we can do, we have obviously Jimmy, Draymond, quarterbacking both sides of the ball. Buddy's playing at a high level, and then the committee of guys who are going to fill in the rotation. And, we're going to rely on our defense. We know that, and even if I'm out there, like that's our calling card. But there's a lot of confidence that the guys can maintain and sustain that level. Minnesota's going to come back, motivated to get a win on their home floor. But over the course of the series, we feel like we're in good shape.
Steph, because
when you're 27, you feel like you're obviously in your prime. Like every opportunity I have now, you don't want it to be wasted on an injury. Like I'm thankful it wasn't worse, and I'm very aware of and appreciative that I have even a chance to come back. There's been injuries around the league that you've seen guys don't have that option. So I'm just trying to stay in that mind frame, and hopefully things work out where I can come back and we have a chance to keep doing something special. But injuries are always hard emotionally, just because none of this is guaranteed to be back, in this environment or in the playoff experience and have an opportunity like that. So when you get hurt, you have to be intentional about what you focus on.
Gary or someone on the team who has, because I mean obviously several, not a very uncommon injury.
I will for sure. I've been in my feelings a little bit.
Considering you went through this.
We have a lot of confidence that we can, still win the series, and guys step up, no matter how it looks. And it's obviously a situation where you want to think positively and optimistically that we can win games and buy me some time to get back and stretch. Hopefully have another series after this and be able to be in a position where I can get back out there safely, where I'm not putting too much risk on the body if it's not ready. So I think they understand the task. We all are in it together, and I love the feedback I got from my guys of understanding what the challenge is.
How did you feel about the physicality game one, maybe compared to the Rockets series? Because we know that was a big talking point.
It felt like we came out of a war with the Rockets. I mean, they put up a hell of a fight, obviously. And, I think we were ready for any physicality they brought. They're obviously a good team, but I thought we took the fight to them.
Getting through that, does that maybe make you feel like you can withstand any kind of physicality going forward?
In a way, I think it was a great challenge for us in the first round. Rockets, obviously a very good team, played very physical. Like you said, I think it's a great challenge for us.
What do you think of Draymond's comments of the night? He said, how you're a damn good player. You might not look like a player. 61 doesn't help.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like an offensive lineman number out there. I'll give him that. It just has a little special meaning to me, so I'm rocking it. But honestly, anytime you get a compliment from a guy like that, just Hall of Famer, elite, best defensive player to do it. So gives you a ton of confidence when you step on the floor, especially on that defensive side of the ball, knowing he's back there.
Thanks, Pat.
So 6-1 is 7. I wore 7 during my lacrosse run. And then 60 spots in the NBA draft, 61 just signifies me making my own journey.
Coach a little more on the court against a team like this?
Yeah, it does require a lot of thinking. They have some of the more high IQ, guys on that side of the basketball on both ends of the floor. There's times where you think a guy's open and Jimmy's playing between two of them, or Draymond's baiting you into a pass, and you're having to think past that. You have to say, okay, I know he's gonna try to steal this. Let me try to find the corner guy, or vice versa. So you got to be really willing to take your time a little bit, like really digest what's going on. And I'm kind of at the head of that, trying to direct everybody in every single situation and keep us from
Really, I mean, we didn't look at all like ourselves. Game plan discipline was really poor. I thought just kind of our resiliency was poor. Physicality was also poor. So there was a lot of things that that really stood out.
Nikhil and Dante have been such big contributors offensively for you. They struggled these playoffs. How can you get them going a little bit, or what would it?
I mean, they got to make some open shots. I mean, both of them had some open shots. They got to make them. They just got to take a breath and knock them down. Start. Like, you're not all of a sudden going to become the world's best transition, but my God, you can't just throw the ball to the other team. So. On defensive rebounding, they do a lot of fouling, holding, shoving, pushing, and tackling Rudy. That's clear. We'll send a bunch of those clips into the league. In fact, I'm not sure I know another player in the league with Rudy's pedigree that is allowed to be physically beaten on the way he is. And so, you know, we gotta address that one way or another. But they're super active. You know, they fly around. They got a high level of compete, and they're smalls. Peyton Jr. has the highest crash rate for any small in the league. So, I mean, there was a play last night where Podziemski clearly grabbed him, and then he sheds Podziemski, and then he gets the foul. So, yeah, I mean, we'll certainly try to take justice into our own hands whenever we can. I think it's the nature of physical sport. But by the same token, you know, my God, you should see some of these clips. They're just like, they look like pulling guards and linemen out there just taking shots at Rudy. So.
Thanks, guys. I mean, we just try not to think about it. I know, like, when we play teams without their best player, you know, we kind of struggle sometimes. So just, like, treating Buddy like Steph, not letting him have the game he did last game. And he's kind of been doing that the whole playoffs, so trying to just shut his water off. For me, it's kind of easy, but just because, like, Buddy kind of does the same as Steph. He just shoots a lot of threes. I wouldn't say he's as good as Steph, but he's like Steph. I just kind of treat him how I guard Steph, just not giving him no space, just basically being his shadow.
Does that feel like it's easier to feel like you can outside?
Yeah, I think we mess up on a lot of game plan stuff defensively, and offensively, I feel like we're just fighting the game, like making it hard on ourselves, like one pass shots, or like all of us taking turns trying to score on our man instead of just moving the ball. So, I mean, we just get back to the way we played the last couple games. I feel like we'll be all right.
After the game last night, just what kind of stands out about what needs to change and go on into game two?
We weren't ready. We played like shit. We need to respond on Thursday.
Do you know, can you put your finger on why it was that way?
Everything. Collectively across the board, we know. We watched it. We need to be a lot better. We need to have better approach tomorrow, and we need to come out and, you know, punch first.
That's exactly what it was. You know, putting the film up on the board today. That's exactly what the feeling was across the board for everybody. Everybody in that room. There wasn't one person. I guess you would say there was nobody safe in that room today, and we needed it. We needed it, and we'll be ready to go tomorrow.
I mean, it's not easy to take because it's the second round of the playoffs. There's no bad teams left in NBA playing right now, and you know, to come out there in the game one and play the way that we did, that's not easy to take. Now, you look at it, you move forward, you focus on tomorrow, and you know the things that we can change are very changeable. So we just got to be ready to go.
Does it?
I mean, last night hasn't happened in a long time. So I think you could feel it. You're trying to continue to fight. We found life in the game where I think we were down 9 or 10, and then they made a couple more winning plays, and now they're up 17. And that was, you know, it's deflating, and you can feel it, but you don't. I guess you don't realize the magnitude of it until you come in and watch it. You can watch it by yourself after the game, but when you come in and you're in there as a group and the coaches are pointing out certain things that you may not have seen or felt in the game, it's glaring when you're watching the film. And like I said, that's, you know, it's a punch in the gut. We needed it, and we'll be ready to go. There's nobody hanging our heads right now. We understand what happened yesterday, and you know, we understand what we're going to do tomorrow.
Finch today, you know, said the Wolves sent tapes to the league about, you know, some of the rebounding stuff and hit and go bare. What did you think of the physicality yesterday, and particularly the rebounding?
Yeah, I mean, I was upset the first 10 minutes of the game. It was just like Houston all over again. They were bear hugging Steph, and they could have called 6 fouls. But the league has established the physicality in the playoffs. Chris talked about it last week. You know, just the overall physicality isn't, to me, it's crazy out there. What's happening? Everybody's fouling each other. I just feel like they have a really hard job because, you know, playoff basketball is, yes, it's physical and they're going to allow more, but I think they could have called a foul 6-7 straight possessions with them guarding Steph. And so I got my complaints too, trust me. We all do, and this is how it works in the playoffs. We watch the tape, we see all the fouls on them that aren't called. They watch the tape, they see all the ones on us that weren't called. It's a physical game, it's just going to be. And both teams have to adjust. I'm getting ready to send my own clips into the league, so.
Has it been consistent?
It has been consistent. Yeah, it's it's they're consistently allowing teams to foul, and as I said, it's a really hard thing to control because everybody's playing so hard and they know what the other team is running. And if you call every foul, I mean, Ime said it in our Houston series, just keep fouling them. They can't call them all, and that's the old Pat Riley, Chuck Daly formula from the late 80s, early 90s. Just foul them every time, the refs can't call it. So this is playoff basketball. I always feel like the officials need to call stuff early in the game to set a tone, and so Chris has his complaints. I got mine. I mean, for 8 straight games now, Steph hasn't had any freedom of movement. They've called maybe 4 or 5 calls in 8 games and we're watching on tape, and they're literally bear hugging Steph. That's a foul, but they're allowing it, and so like I said, both teams are going to have complaints every game.
Steve,